Well, hello and welcome to Little State Big Voices with myself, Shahida, and my fabulous co-host Tracy.
Hey y'all.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm sad the weekend is coming to a close though, because I could use just a little bit more weekend. Like a long weekend would be nice right about now.
Yeah, I could go for like tomorrow being like a nice holiday, but we got Veterans Day coming up in November.
Veterans is coming up, and yes, and my company does observe, so I will be having that off. I think it's a Tuesday.
Really?
I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. I think this year, because Veterans Day is always on the 11th. It doesn't fall on a Monday per se.
I
It's
That's sad. I didn't even know.
Oh, I'm on it because I'm always looking for a day off without having to put in for it.
Yeah, and 11th is on a Tuesday. That's my remote day, so I'd rather my holiday be on Monday.
Mm,
Monday.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that, girl.
But how was your week?
It was good. It was busy. Work was busy, and then the weekend just kind of like you and I ended up doing some stuff on Friday night. Then Saturday was kind of a full day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and today I was running around like just doing errands and stuff like that. So it was a busy week. How
Yeah,
about you?
it was pretty busy. I had, yeah, just a lot of little events going on. I told you Monday we had Representative David Morales come to RIBCW and he
Mm-hmm.
spoke about his candidacy for mayor. It was really good. He has like some really great, interesting ideas. And you and I are actually going to speak with him this coming Tuesday for
Yes.
next week's episode. So you guys should take a listen, especially if you're living in Providence. But even if you're not living in Providence and you're in Rhode Island, how Providence rolls, that's pretty much so the state, how the state is going to politicize stuff. So, and
Mhm.
he's young. He's like 36 years old, so he's like the youngest, representative in the House right now, and he just has some bright ideas. And I wasn't even going to talk about this, but one of the things that I'm looking forward to in these upcoming elections is some fresh voices. Especially when you look at the House right now, you look at state senators and everything, the average age is like 60, which is fine if you are progressive thinking. Like I always
Mhm.
tell the story about my great aunt. She was 106 years old, very progressive minded. She wasn't like stuck in like the 1920s on how a woman should dress, on how, men should behave and all that. You need to kind of go with the times as long as you're sticking to core values, which is to help people, and you just don't see that anymore. And so that was what I found very refreshing about Representative Morales, is that he has some, and they're not even like super innovative ideas, like making rent affordable for people who live in Providence, and people fight against that, which is crazy.
Yeah, I was with someone earlier today who was telling me that she said I think a studio was 1800 that she went to look at, an apartment here in Providence 1800, and I forget what the price was she said for a two-bedroom, but the prices are going through the roof in this area,
Mm-hmm,
considering even what they were just 5-6 years ago.
mm-hmm,
They are like going up significantly, and the thing is like, okay, and where do you think this income is going to come from if you're not paying people more?
mm-hmm,
They're not earning enough. It just doesn't make it make sense.
mm-hmm.
Food costs more, living, shelter costs more, driving your car costs more. Like how are people supposed to sustain this, at the rate that we're going? So
Yeah, it is. It's scary because then we have like all these federal workers who are not working. And what is it? November 1st is supposed to stop the SNAP benefits for families. And I saw a video on Instagram, and this woman was talking about, like, for all those people who have food stamps in October, what'd you do with it? Did you spend it on like processed foods? Why didn't you save it for November? This woman who had welfare, who was on welfare, she ended up getting fired from her job because she deserved to be fired, because people who are struggling, and most people who are on welfare or who get SNAP benefits,
Hmm.
actually work, but they're not working enough to keep up with the pace, because what? The price of living goes up. They say every year, but for me, I feel like it's every 3 months. The price of living just goes up, but your
Hmm.
pay doesn't. Your pay doesn't. And if you're
Right.
in certain positions, certain jobs, it really doesn't move the needle. So you need those SNAP benefits. And so if they, I don't think that, I think on November 1st, I don't think that's going to change. I don't think that they're going to call them back into the House to vote on this or anything. So we are getting to that point where a lot of people are going to be suffering. And so if you do have it in you, I am not a huge fan of Rhode Island Food Bank, but it's a very well needed. It's very needed in the community. And if you can donate, donate. If you can volunteer, volunteer. Because they showed lines in like California and in the middle states of people like around the block lined up to get food. So if you can donate, do it.
There was a group in Pawtucket, and I didn't actually get all of the details, but
Hmm.
they were encouraging people. So I think it was Friday night or earlier in the week. They were encouraging people to come on Saturday as early as like 5 a.m. for this food distribution at 8 a.m. So it was like a food bank of sorts, and it was in
Hmm.
Pawtucket, and they've been going all around the state. And I don't know if they're tied to the USDA. I don't know if they're tied to
Hmm.
just like charitable organizations, but they were encouraging people to come if they're concerned about food insecurity because of the food stamp issue. And what I was saying to someone the other day is like, okay, regardless of how you feel about people on food stamps, because there are some people that are like, just go to work, which is not always feasible for everyone. So
The
I'm not here to
majority of them work though.
right, or work, or I guess they're saying, well, work more, like it's that easy. You know what I mean? Like it's that easy to get a job that's going to allow you to have a roof over your head, eat, fuel your vehicle, or pay for Uber, or pay for your bus pass, or whatever. Like the standard of living does not, it doesn't match up to what it costs to live in these
Mhm.
states up here. But regardless of what you feel about that, here's the thing. If people are used to getting a certain amount, regardless of what that is, or whether it's from the government, and we've all paid taxes into that. Even the people who are on welfare have paid taxes into that. If they buy a shirt, well, shirt's not taxable, but if they buy a couch, a sofa for their apartment, they pay taxes into the state, into the city, into the if they paid their taxes to the federal government. We've all put into that pot.
Mhm.
So we've all put into unemployment, we've all put in whatever. Regardless of that, here's the thing: if people can't afford food, they will steal it, or they will buy less of it, and then that affects the food chain. So like, Stop and Shop, you're going to take a hit. Shaw's, you're going to take a hit.
Mhm.
Market Basket may be a little less of a hit because they're cheaper, but they may take a hit too. All of the major
As
chains,
well. Mhm.
yeah, they'll take a hit as well. Price Right, all of the places where people normally go, especially in the community. So then you're creating more food deserts, because they're going to start closing stores.
Mhm.
Because how are they? What are they operating on? Are they
Mhm.
going to get a corporate bailout from the government? If you're going to give them a corporate bailout, give the people the daggone food stamps. Like, stop being
Mhm.
silly about it. So it's just crazy when 40 billion is going to Argentina for what? We don't know. X amount is going to tear up Jackie Kennedy's Rose Garden. Give the people the damn food stamps. Like, why are you playing in our faces with this? And yeah, so the thing is, do you give the money to the corporations when they come calling and knocking because they're losing money? Or do you give it to the people to begin with so that they can put back into the economy and keep that flow going? That doesn't make sense. Do you know what I'm
Oh, they'll
saying?
bail them out. They'll bail them out before they bail us out. It and it's crazy to me how people who are screaming about welfare now, they did a thing where $36 a year comes out of your check for SNAP, for food benefits, for and I think another 30 for actual welfare, that
Mhm.
700 comes out for corporations, out of your check, out of
Crazy.
out of your yearly pay. 700 compared to this $67 that might be going to your American children, American women and men who might find themselves in, like you said, in the destitute situation. And
Yeah.
you'd rather pay it to Elon Musk, you rather pay it to Bezos. They have mansions. They can buy all the food and stuff that they want to. Why are we paying, contributing to them with our tax dollars? We buy their stuff. So that should be enough. Why are we sustaining these billionaires? And again, let me say, that damn Elon Musk would not have the money that he has. Granted, his father, started him well, stealing in those diamond mines in South
Mm-hmm.
Africa, and he was a millionaire. But the way he became a billionaire is from tax dollars in the U.S. Period. Did I drill? I think I did.
Oh my gosh. Well, because you're passionate about the subject, because it's the thing is that we kind of let this stuff, it's the frog boiling in the cold water.
Yep.
We're the frog. We've just been boiling in this cold water for the longest time, and now the heat is getting turned up. We're boiling, and it's getting crazy. You've got us reading this great book, The Lion Women of Tehran, and I'm loving the book because, like you said, there's so many parallels
Yeah.
between what's going on in the United States and what happened in Iran, just 50, 60 years ago.
hmm
So,
Remember, and most people don't know that Iran was a very democratic and progressive country.
hmm
And it was the United States that got it to where it is now. And the Sharia law and just religious fanatics. And that's where we're going.
hmm
With this Christian nationalism, it's exactly where we're going. And the parallels are insane. And that's fiction, but it's based on, actual history. So I'm glad you
yeah,
liked it, though. I'm glad you liked it.
it's
I was
really
so
good.
excited about it. I actually bought it. I went and bought the book because I said I have to read it again, because I read it months ago. I think like at the beginning of last year. And I was like, okay, this is the book I'm gonna pick for book club. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's really good.
exciting.
Hmm
I hope you make the dish that they keep talking about in the book, because I'm like, if they bring this salad up one more daggone time, I'm gonna look it up myself and make it because it sounds so good.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. I don't remember what it is because I'm gonna start reading it again. But that was my intention. We might
I'm
be
putting it.
having burgers,
I'm
but it
putting
was
in my request.
intention.
You listen. The rest of the girls don't have to get it. You can just make it for me.
It was or ask my mama to do it.
Mm,
Ask my.
sounds good.
hmm So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. But speaking of books,
Yes.
we met. We saw someone pretty fabulous last night. What is that? I have mine out here too.
M-
So, I love
Miss
how you have the
Rhymes.
front and I had the back. Okay, there you go. So we get, a fabulous picture of Miss Shonda Rhimes, the writer, the
hmm
creator of Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder. What else? Bridgerton.
Yes.
And so she wrote, what was it? 10 years ago, she wrote the Book of Yes.
Yes, this is the 10th anniversary, and she's added 7 new chapters. My
hmm
girl was not playing around, because now I'm going to be forced to reread it because I want to know, I want to remember it, and I also want to know what the new 7 chapters are.
hmm
And she said something last night that really touched me and resonated with me when she said, I'm she wasn't the same woman that she was when she started writing as she was when she completed it, and she's a totally different woman
hmm
today, 10 years later. So understand that, and I feel, okay, I'm a totally different woman when I started reading it to when I
Mhm,
completed reading it to now in 2025. I'm a completely different woman, so I definitely have to reread it again, and I
mhm,
think it will bring out even new information, new resources, new beginnings, all
mhm.
of that good stuff. So I'm excited.
Do you have the original still?
I'm an audiobook
Oh,
fan,
okay,
so
yeah.
I listened to it, and
So I didn't. I probably should have.
I remember
I
her
read it.
talking.
I
Yeah.
read it, but you know who I gave it to?
Who?
Contessa.
Really?
I did. I gave it to her. That was when I owned the store. And so she came in and I had the book and I had just finished it. And she was like going through it and she's like, oh my God, it's awesome. I said, girl, go ahead and take that book. I should text her and be like, you still have that book?
Yeah, so I encourage everyone to
Mhm,
read this book because one of the things they talked about was that saying yes doesn't necessarily mean that you're not putting yourself first. Sometimes we
mhm,
should be really saying yes to yourself, and
mhm.
saying yes to yourself can mean saying no to other people.
Other
So it's
people.
not just about being complacent and complicit and all of that stuff. It's about saying yes to things that you need to be saying yes to and trying new things. But I won't spoil too much of it, but she did talk a lot in this book about just her memory being shit. I remember that very specifically. And I
Mhm,
was just thinking the same thing when I was reading the book at the time. So I would have been 40 at that time because I'm 50
mhm,
now. So,
mhm,
around when it came out. And I just remember thinking, why can't I remember anything at all? And now that we've done all this great research and talked about perimenopause, menopause,
mhm,
yada, 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 now it's all in perspective. I'm like, that's why Shonda couldn't remember anything. And neither could I. But that was one of the first times I heard a woman who I considered to be like a genius acknowledge that sometimes you forget things
mhm,
and you can't recall them and you
mhm,
don't know why and you feel weird and crazy about it.
mhm.
So yeah, love her for that. And she did it amazing last night. Um, and it was part of the Boston book fair.
Yep,
Let me not get your lines.
yep,
Boston Book Festival.
Boston Book Festival and WGBH. And
Yes.
I want to shout out WGBH because I was
Yes.
having
Big
a
shout out.
conversation with my mom the other day and how we grew up on WGBH and how
Yes.
just even seeing it in Cambridge when you would like, you would drive by, but I remember like the theme songs to like every little show that came on. It's something that we should support, and I know probably a lot of children don't even watch it anymore because everything is about streaming. And I was saying, like, Sesame Street during that time, you knew it was going to be on at a certain time of day from this to this. And you know what? Kids don't have something to look forward to like that anymore.
Yeah.
Electric Company was my jam, and that came on at 5:30, on channel 2. So that was what I look forward to because,
Yep.
I was too old for Sesame Street, but 5:30 Electric Company, that was my jam. And I feel like channel 2, specifically WGBH out of Boston, has it's been a pillar. And you see them still doing the good work, and this is why this administration doesn't want it to exist, because it
Mhm.
teaches you something. There was like some other shows that WGBH did, and it was
Zoom.
like about different. Oh yeah, I had a friend that was on Zoom, but that taught about different cultures.
Hmm.
And
I
remember
mean, just think
Black
about like
Boston.
there's, they and some of them were what do you call it, syndicate type
Yeah.
things like, but Julia Child, we wouldn't have had,
Mhm.
the great Julia Child, Reading Rainbow, all of that stuff was on there. I never watched Doctor Who, but it was always on there.
I did
Um,
not like that old Doctor Who. That's it scared the hell out of me. The theme music was not nice, and then it was just kind of dark and like it was creepy looking. Nah, I didn't get down with Doctor Who until David Tennant came into the picture, and I've been hooked
um,
ever since. You all got to watch the last season. They had a Black Doctor Who, and it
mm,
was really good. He did 2 seasons, and I know we just like all over the place, but he did 2 seasons. I can't think of his name. So, but it was really good. I mean, the storylines were like phenomenal.
So I never really watched it, but now you have me intrigued to watch the new version of it.
Hmm.
But I do have a fun fact. I used to volunteer at WGBH.
Of course you did. You volunteer everywhere. That is one thing we can say about our girl Tracy, is she is an excellent volunteer. And I think I remember when you did that.
And it was actually, what's interesting is it was
Mhm.
when I was in between work
Uh,
opportunities, but I'm not one to sit around the house, even
mhm,
if I'm unemployed. So my whole thing was like, yeah, I'm unemployed, but let me see what I can do to fill this time. I can't just sit at home. So I
mhm,
signed up to volunteer, and I actually was working with their fundraising team. And so
mhm,
what I would do is I would make a bunch of calls and say, hey, do you have donations for the fundraiser?
mhm,
So, I would call somebody who had a work of art, somebody who had gift cards to give away, a restaurant voucher, whatever. And I would call them and I would arrange pickups and drop offs. Sometimes I would go pick the stuff up for them,
mhm,
and they would go into the auction.
mhm,
Actually, so there's a semi-annual auction that happens for WGBH. That's a fundraiser.
mhm.
So I actually got my job, my first job in tech, because I had auction experience working with GBH. And
Cool.
that led me down the career path that I'm on right now, 10
Mhm.
years later. I
Volunteering.
got that from volunteering. And I got to attend so many great parties. They
Mhm.
had the Downton Abbey party once there,
Oh,
and I
my mother loved that
volunteered.
damn show.
I never watched it a day in my life, but baby, I was there and I was Downton and I was Abby, and it was cute and I had a great time. I met the great chef Marcus Samuelson at GBH,
Oh, I love it.
and the whole thing was like, don't talk to Marcus. Marcus
Mhm.
came up and was talking to your girl, okay? He approached me and he asked me some random question, and I was trying to keep myself gathered because I'm obsessed with him and I
Mhm.
love him very much. Like, he's like a crush. He's like one of my secret, not so
Oh,
secret crushes. And he came up to
yes,
me.
sure.
He
You
came
what?
up to me. He came up to me and asked me a question, and I
Mhm.
was just like, blah blah blah. Just acted calm, cool, and collected. But I really wanted to just like jump on him and tell him how
Mhm.
much I love him. But I refrained from doing that. But and I did their food and wine.
Uh-huh.
Um, there's so many great volunteer opportunities with GBH, and especially where they're getting defunded. It's a
Yeah.
great time to open yourself back up. I think I may reach out again about volunteering. And I
Mhm.
used to be at the Brighton location.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, and that is an excellent segue back into Shonda Rhimes' book.
Hmm.
Because for me specifically, when I read the book the first time, I wasn't as impressed. Only because when there are books that are like almost like self help or whatever, I don't resonate automatically. But as I start to marinate on it or whatever, and her book is one of those that has always stayed in the back of my mind when I want to say no to something, only out of fear or laziness or, just cutting myself off from experiences. And I think I always go back to her book and I'm like, you know what? What's the real reason that I'm opting out of this particular adventure or experience? Why am I saying no to this? And I will talk myself into saying yes, specifically from her book. So I'm really anxious to read the new one. And because again, like you, 10 years ago, a totally different person. I was on a
Yeah.
whole different mind space, and you hope that every 5 years, every 10 years, that there's some growth in there, you know?
Yes.
And like she said, one of the things that, like I said, I go back to my great aunts who are like, they're all over 100, but they're not stagnant. They're consistently trying to learn always. And that's one of the things that she says. She doesn't want to be stagnant either. She always wants to be open to opportunities.
Yeah.
When she said she was playing golf, I'm like, I think I want to take up
Yes.
golf now. I think I want to take up golf now.
And she said she's not an athlete. She's never been athletic. As soon as a ball starts coming toward her, she's running the opposite
One.
direction. So yeah, I mean, I agree that it's good to think outside of the box. It sounds like
Mhm.
she came from a really great, stable family background where she
Yeah,
was
very
encouraged. And that
supportive.
was another thing that I noticed is that she said that her mom would say, so she said, such and such did this to me at school or said this to me. And her mother's response was, and what did you say back? That's
Mhm.
like I'm so internalizing that. And that's going to
Mhm.
be how I'm going to think about scenarios and
Mhm.
talk to my kids when they come to me with conflict and say, somebody said XYZ about me or and I'll, my question to them will be, well, how did you defend yourself?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think that was a big takeaway from last night too. I just admire how you could tell she orchestrated that event to a T. It
Mhm.
started at 7, it was to end at 8 o'clock, and it maybe
Mhm.
started a little bit later than 7, like maybe
Yeah,
seven
just a
ten, seven
little.
fifteen
Mm.
ish. But baby, by 8:15, signed, sealed, delivered. Shonda was in her vehicle on her way out. She had the questions lined up.
Connecticut, back to Connecticut. I didn't know that she moved
Nor did
from the
I.
West Coast to the
She
East
had a
Coast.
whole thing. She was like, "You're gonna get a signed book." I was like, "How's she gonna get us in and out in 1 hour, signing all these hundreds of books?" Homegirl had the books pre-signed. She was
Yeah,
not
you and Norma both. I knew that they were
late.
going to be pre-signed.
She
I knew
was
there was
not
no way
playing.
that you. Mhm.
I
So
just
it was.
knew she was gonna hold the book and what is your name? And no, Shonda wasn't doing that. She was like, Shonda Rhimes, boom, Shonda Rhimes, boom.
And it was full. It
It
was
was.
full.
It was.
What we was it at the not the Heinz? It was at
The
the.
Dorothy Quincy Suite. So it's
Okay.
a lot of people will call it John Hancock. Black people,
Yeah,
we
I
just
was
name
still with
name
John
stuff
Hancock
whatever we want to name it. Of course, it's not the tower. It's like
anymore.
part of
Yeah,
John Hancock. But we if you say John Hancock, people know what you're talking about. I actually was in a
yeah.
beauty pageant in that very same theater when I was
Oh,
15.
I know. 'Cause we used to have like what Elma Lewis used to have like events in that same theater, and I was I did a couple of plays in there.
Oh
Um,
yes.
some bootlegging ballet because I'm not a dancer. I was in the back. I was in the back. A couple of shows there, but yeah, it was good. And so I drove in with one of our book club members, Norma, and she's been on the podcast when we did the menopause series, and
Hmm.
we're both like, look at Boston. Boston is just it's little New York. It
It's
is
a glow up.
new it big time glow up. And I'm not mad at it because I was like, ugh, driving in is gonna be a monster. But it really wasn't bad. I mean, we were on 93 for like and it says it on the phone, like, oh, you'll be stuck in traffic for 19 minutes. And you're like, hell, 19 minutes, but it was moving constantly,
Yeah.
so and you leaving enough time, it was fine. We parked, 2 minutes away from the venue, it was fine, and it was a nice night. So, I
It was a
really
good night.
it was a
And
nice night.
5 of us showed up. There were 5 of us there from book club. So that was a good turnout. It was you,
Mhm,
me,
mhm.
Norma, Teresa, and Donna.
Yeah, it was really packed. I mean, I didn't see you guys until like the end because we got in there 6:45 ish, and
Oh wow. And it
it
was
was
already
full.
full.
It
Well, when
was
I,
full.
I walked in, the one of the ushers, so one of the volunteers, clearly probably one of the volunteers, he was like, I don't know if you're gonna find a seat, miss. I was like, don't worry, my girls got me. And Teresa was like, over here, Donna's like, over here. And I was fine. Thank goodness they saved me a spot. I was
Mhm.
good to go because I was late per usual. So
Those were really good too. They found us, and
yeah.
it was like about maybe we were like 5 rows behind the stage, and because like I
Oh,
said, it
that's
was
a
a lot.
good seat.
But yeah, we got good seats, but I had a big ass head in front of me. I needed to be up a little high because I was like this. I was like this. Dude, why is your head so big? It was a big ass head, but
Wow.
they were we were lucky to get them together. So it was a good night. It was a really good night. So
Yeah.
I was
It was a good exchange. And
Mhm.
she was just so chill about it, and she's always kind of been a humble, behind the
Mhm.
scenes type person. Like she said very vocally she never really wanted to be out in the spotlight. And
Mhm.
what other showrunner, and she made a point, what other showrunner do we know like that by
Mhm.
name? Like, we know Shonda Rhimes, and many people probably don't even know her face, but they know her name. They
Yeah.
know her shows.
Mhm.
And there are other shows that, are out there, like other than like David E. Kelly, or like I'm
Norman
trying to
Lear.
think.
Well, he's
Yeah,
dead now.
no,
Norman Lear, is
right.
he still alive?
He passed. He did pass.
Okay.
But recently, he passed recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are very few showrunners that you actually know and can recognize by sight or by name. Because normally you enjoy the product of the show,
Yeah.
but you don't necessarily know the person. But she's a household name. She announced that Bridgerton is coming back. She's putting the
Mhm.
finishing touches on Bridgerton for next year. I'm excited about that. And there's actually a Bridgerton ball that's happening in Boston in December.
Oh, kiddo. I've never watched Bridgerton, but another show I never watched Bridgerton or Grey's Anatomy.
You don't like period stuff though, right? Did you say you don't like period?
I I'm not a fan of period stuff, but I think I need to stop blocking that because I know she's a good writer. I know she tells a good story. So just because I'm going to watch it. I've made up
It's
my mind
so
I'm going to
good.
watch it. But I've never
Bridgerton,
seen
and
Grey's Anatomy either
I've never seen Grey's, and I'm totally fine with saying that.
because I don't like hospital stories.
I
But
used to love ER though.
I used to love ER as well. But I don't know how many seasons I stuck in there. I remember, what was his name?
Noah Wiley, George
Clooney,
Clooney,
George
Eric
Clooney. That
LaSalle.
beginning, I did watch that, but I didn't stick with it for long. But then that new series on Fox Now, Doc, I love it.
Oh,
The
the
woman
woman with
who
the amnesia.
had amnesia or whatever, and I like it a lot. So I don't know if I'm gonna try Grey's Anatomy. You know who was like a Grey's Anatomy fanatic?
Who?
Jabril.
Really? Interesting. And it's been
All
on for a minute. It's been on
all
for a
in.
hot minute. I don't know
Mhm.
why I never got into Gray's book.
Yeah,
Scandal,
I think it was because it was hospital, and I'm not a big hospital
you
TV
could
fan.
not keep me away from Scandal. I
Loves
watched the whole thing. But
Went
funny,
to a
you should.
party for the last episode.
I had a Scandal party at my house,
Mhm.
and I made all kind of
We
little.
had one at the district.
Mm,
We had it
I
at the
did have
district.
one at my house.
Mhm.
It was fun, and I really got into it. But it's funny that you bring up hospital dramas. I don't know why the heck I was watching Saint Elsewhere when I was like 7. Do you remember Saint Elsewhere?
Too, but I didn't watch it, but I do
And I
remember
knew
it.
the actors, and I was
Uh-huh.
steady watching
I
it
knew the actor, but I didn't watch it either. Oh, look at
because
me.
we
I
didn't
was like
have
9 years.
options. We didn't have options
Exactly.
in 1982. You was either gonna watch Saint Elsewhere, or you were gonna, I don't know what you were gonna watch, because there wasn't nothing else on.
What was it? Yeah. Oh, because it was like Saint Elsewhere, Hill Street Blues, and it
I
was
couldn't
something
get
else that
into
came
that. Couldn't get into
I
Hill Street
like
Blues.
I always liked the good cop show. I mean, I was watching Beretta Girl. And Columbo. I always liked a good cop show. Hunter, remember Hunter on Saturday
I do
nights?
remember Hunter. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't never hospital shows not so much, but
I've never watched Grays. I never wanted to watch Grays.
mm, mm, mm.
Sorry,
And then
Shonda.
I know, and I don't think I am gonna try Bridgerton, and I'm gonna
I love it.
try the other one, Charlotte. Is
Queen
it Queen
Charlotte,
Charlotte?
incredible. Oh, so good. So
Mm-hmm.
good.
I gotta try this too. I am gonna watch it, but I know because I'm watching some. What am I watching right now on TV? I don't even know.
I'm watching a lot of 90 Day, and
Yeah,
I
you
just
say
started
that last.
Married at First Sight.
I started Married at First.
It's
I
a
binged
lot.
all 4 episodes the other night. I was up till like no, I was up. I started watching it like around 3 or 4 in the morning because I was just up, and then I ended up like, oh, I'm hooked
I'm on episode 2.
on episode 2. I like what they've done. I like what they've done with as far as like the weddings and stuff and condensing it. Nobody wanted to see 500 episodes on who you're picking and selecting and meeting their parents and then picking out wedding gowns. Nobody cares. Have you watched what is it? Not Married at First Sight. The one on Netflix.
Sister
Love is
Wives?
Blind. Love is Blind.
No. Mm-mm.
The new season. It was so trash.
I
I
never could
literally
get into Love is Blind.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Well, this season was like it was trash. I literally would fast forward through most of it. Like the weddings and stuff. I
But
just want to see who's gonna say yes and nay.
I am up on that Sister Wives now, especially with that Rhode Island couple.
I'm watching that too. We gotta find that. We gotta find those two.
We gotta
Because
find we need to find the witch. We need to find
yeah.
the other lady who cheated on them essentially and kind of dumped them low key.
But did she dump them or did he dump her? Because he was not into it. Not
Here's the
with her.
thing. Here's the
Hmm.
thing. He's a very lazy. Let me not talk about this man like that because we do want him to come on the show. Scratch that. I rewind. He's not lazy. He's very lackadaisical. Let's put it that way.
He
I
didn't
wouldn't say
want
he's
her.
lazy, but until she was gone, and ain't that like
I
a man?
I think he was faking it. I don't think he really wanted her. Look how quickly he moved to that next girl. She was
But
in rotation.
that's how all a couple of those guys are. The Latino guy is just like that. He's like, I
Like what?
like you, and I like you until I don't like you, type things. And the wives, a lot of the wives are sitting up there, kind of like really. The black wife is the only one I think that really even wants to do this. Her and the girl from
Oh,
Indiana.
that's what she's into. And that's why I don't think he is really down with it. Like the excuse that he was giving her is like, I gotta get back home to take care of the kids. I ain't never heard no man say that to no woman that is just throwing it out to him. He wasn't
But
into her.
I think he just thought she's there, she's not going anywhere. And then she actually stepped out without talking to them about it. So that's how I feel like
Mhm.
she's the one that initiated the dumping because she kind of was just ready to get out. And my thing is like, okay, well, can't you just still be best friends with homegirl?
Um, I
Because the,
see.
the
This is
Spanish
why
couple
I
are
think
doing that. The
the
Spanish
what
guy,
couple.
the Spanish guy who's married to the white lady with the brunette, and his first baby's mother, she's Spanish. They are still friends. They're still best friends, the wife and the baby's mama.
Mm-hmm. I have to pay attention to that one again. But to the black woman and that girl, I'm just gonna have to disagree with you on whether or not he was in it because, like you said, he just seemed very lackadaisical. He just didn't seem interest. And then even when she said that she was going to somebody else and he did that outburst, it just seemed so
He
like,
was like,
okay, this is
fuck
what you
that
want me to
dude.
do.
That's the thing that made me think, well, maybe he is
I,
a little bit.
no, it
No.
just didn't hit right for me. For me, it felt fake. And then the next day he's like, well, remember this girl that I used to talk to? And I know men can just go from one to the other, but if he wanted her, he would have been having sex with her.
So here's the thing. He did want to have sex with her. He just didn't want to stay. Right? Isn't that what it was? Didn't he go over to the hotel and
Yeah, because
he was
they
trying
were
to do
kind of like
something and she said no.
insisting. He didn't want to go. They were insisting that he did this because he needed to spend more time. It was both the women saying, "You need to spend more time with her." I don't feel
But
like
she was
if
also wilding. She lives in Connecticut or somewhere else. She was kind of
Mhm,
wild in like, oh, y'all need to move over here where I'm at because I have a kid. Excuse me? No, we're not. We have a family unit here, ma'am. This is
mhm,
established. We're locked in. We're married. We have our kids. I don't know. But to ask them to uproot their much larger family when you could just, I don't know. And she wasn't trying to move in with them. First of all, I'm like, I'm looking at
really.
all of these people. I'm like, y'all don't even look like, I don't know, you don't look like the type, but I guess that
I
they
just
are
know
the
that I
type.
want to be out in the street and I'm gonna be looking at everybody like,
Right.
You that
And then,
guy?
so is the black is the wife sleeping with the girl too, or they're just friends?
Yes, they have a relationship too.
So I couldn't understand if they had a sexual relationship or not.
Mhm.
I almost got the
That's what
feeling
I
that
was
they
getting,
didn't.
because I was getting more that the wife was more interested in keeping her around because she wants the husband too, but she was also interested in the woman. I thought maybe she wasn't.
I
I don't know.
If you go back and watch it, it almost seems like the only sexual interaction is between the women and the husband and not the two women. It doesn't seem like the women are in a sexual relationship. I think that they are the wife is really latched onto her as a best friend, which is, I'm like, okay,
She said she never had any friends, and probably because you freaky. Calm down.
yeah, I don't know if they're actually intimate with each other, but the whole thing is just,
Maybe, yeah. Maybe
I
I
was
just
like,
assumed
what? I'm
because
like,
she's
what?
so attached. Why
But
was
that's
she
why
so,
she keeps pushing the husband, because otherwise she would just go over there and handle it for her.
Mhm. Mm, I don't know. And the woman from the Brazilian woman that came and she's living with the married couple and she's just
Oh,
starting to. Oh, so you
Lorena.
haven't gotten to it yet. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up.
Lorena, listen, I'm scared for Lorena. I want Lorena, DM me if you're not safe, girl, because the the wife in that scenario, I have
Oh, it's gonna
concerns.
get worse. It's going to get
I have
worse.
concerns because she's jealous and doesn't know she's jealous and
She
won't admit
does.
she's jealous. So I could see it's going to come to a head. It's going to boil over because the husband clearly is digging, and she's like, "Oh, she's just the what did she say? The treat of the day, or the she's a shiny new toy or something." She called Lorraine. I was like, "Oh, your slip is showing, girl. You are big
Oh,
mad."
see, I didn't see that part.
And then
Hmm.
the baby started taking to Lorena. The
Oh, that
baby
baby
started.
loves her. That baby
The
loves
son, the son built her a bike. I'm like,
her.
this lady is about to lose her mind. And then he kicked the wife out of the bedroom and was like, "You're gonna share a room with this girl. Make them two
Two.
boys shit. Make them two boys." And I think they're full size. They're full size beds.
Are they? I don't know. It just looks
They are.
small.
But here's my thing: make them two boys share a room and give them women their own bedroom. Because they fighting over
Yeah.
washing the sheets and going to his room. And the wife was like, "He's the king of the castle." Girl, knock it off.
Mm-mm. No,
Knock
she was,
it
and yeah,
off.
she was not feeling that at all. I
I
wouldn't.
think,
This is what I mean. Like, if okay, let's talk about polygamy for just 1 second.
yeah, of course.
And
Bring it on.
you all know that I'm Muslim, and so there are polygamous relationships, but the Quran actually says one wife is good for you if you only knew. And because that woman's supposed to have her own home, both women are supposed to
Yep.
have their own home. You are supposed to pay the mortgages on each, or rent or whatever, on each of those homes, and the utilities. None of that, oh, you split in 50-50. If you
Yeah.
want a second wife, then you need to have her maintenance be fully on you. And here this guy got these women in in a room together. That's not how it
That's
works.
so crazy to me. That is so crazy. But Lorena looks sweet, but don't Lorena looks like she can go 0 to 100. Because did you see her go? You got to move some of these clothes here in this closet because I need
Okay,
more space. Okay.
let me speak into my app.
And then she was like, "I'm very frustrated because you guys are talking around me. I don't like that." And the husband was like,
Hmm.
"That is not fair." I honestly think if they didn't have that young baby, he probably would just leave his wife, period, and be like, "You know what? See you later, sis," and bring Lorena in and her just be the new wife. Because I don't even
So but he's not married to the wife anymore.
they got
He because he
divorced
has
so he can marry
her.
Lorena.
So there's
So
no way I would
let's
mess
talk
with that.
about the Christian faith, and they're so the Bible's XYZ. You got up in a court of law and you lied and said your marriage was irrevocable in that
Mm-hmm.
you're divorcing irreconcilable, and you went into a courtroom
Mm-hmm.
and you lied about that so he could bring this woman to marry. Where were your values then in that moment?
Mm.
Something wrong with them
You just
people.
want. Yeah, and what's his reasoning behind having this woman anyway?
Because he wants
This
her.
other woman.
But he's
I
always
mean,
had other women. He's always had other women, but they've never lived in the house. This is the first time he brought a woman to live in the house. And that's why the wife
mhm,
is short circuiting behind. She's in the camera trying to compose her face, but her mind is imploding. You can see this woman dying on the inside of her body.
it-
Like, why are
just
you putting up with
accepting
this?
anything. Exactly. Like
If you don't want
you could.
to,
I don't know. Yeah.
if you don't want to, and
Especially
you
the
would.
whole let's get a divorce part so that you can marry another woman. I don't even know how she wrapped her head around that one.
And the thing is, if that marriage, which is no longer a legal marriage, fails, she has no recourse. What do you have? You
Yeah.
can't. You're not legally married. Maybe child support. Those two boys, they maybe got 2, 3 more years of child support on them. The baby, maybe she could get child support on them, but you can't really get spousal any kind of spousal reparations because you're not the
No.
spouse anymore. And the business
Mhm.
partner said, "Listen, we gonna write these papers up and make that girl sign them because this woman who just came from Brazil and doesn't speak
That's
a
her
lick of
brother.
English, huh?
That's her brother.
No, his business partner, the white guy.
His business partner is the ex-wife's brother. That's
Oh
his
yes,
brother.
yes, yes, yes. You're right. You're right. I thought you were talking about Lorena. He said you bet.
Uh-huh.
You need to write this up because this woman's not going to come in here and take you for half of what you have. And then my sister's out in the cold. I'm out hanging out to dry for half my business. Like, be reasonable. Meanwhile he's laid
This
out
is
having a
crazy.
picnic. He laid out having a little picnic.
She
And
was like, "This is so romantic."
you know what's romantic is she's about to try to bring her entire family up here. Go ahead, sir. Let it be romantic. She gonna romance you into bringing half of Brazil up to the United States.
She is not going to be able to be in that town for very much longer. She's coming from Rio de Janeiro. She said she would walk out her door and
And the world was
everything
her
was
oyster. My
around
girl
her.
was turning up. She's gonna be so bored. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah,
But she's gonna have
she
to
said
just
it's
ride it out.
beautiful. It's beautiful for a vacation, but I do not want to live here. And then his family disowned him because of his lifestyle,
Mm.
which I was shocked because I thought they were Mormon, but no, they're just
They
evangelical
probably
Christians.
by lifestyle, it probably was we don't want you to bring this black lady into the family.
That could be
Probably
it too,
the
but I
lifestyle
don't
they
think
didn't
it's
like.
staying
Probably would have been fine if she
because
was
I think she
blonde.
is like she said that. What did she say? She said, "Are there? I see
Where are the
all only white
blacks?
people here. There's
Where
nobody else."
where is the color? They're not even any
Mhm.
Latinos or other Brazilians that she could even speak the language to. And they're like, well, until she learns English, and she will, she's gonna learn English very
She
quickly.
will.
They better hope she don't run off with one of them sons. One
Wait
of
a
them
minute.
said he only wants one woman, but the other one was like, "Bruh, you don't understand. Dad got it made." That's the one you got to watch.
She's gorgeous.
She's a
She's gorgeous
beautiful
with the
girl.
braids. The wig gotta go.
I haven't even gotten
Did
to
you
the
see the
wig.
wig?
No, I figured she's going to
Oh,
have to take them because the new growth was already coming in. I was like, ain't nobody to braid
The
this girl's
braids,
hair.
she look great.
She's gonna have to do it herself. So, oh my goodness. But
I know
anyway,
because where's she gonna go? When she asked about a mall, she's like, "Where do I go shopping?" It was just like, "Well, there's really no Rio de
Amazon.
Janeiro to this little shop. No, no, thank you. I can't do
Yeah.
it."
And people are
So
gonna be in her
we'll see.
DMs. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I feel
So
bad for I that the woman. What's her name again? The wife, the
Lorraine,
ex-wife.
I don't even know her name. I know Lorena. I don't remember the lady's name. Kate,
I
I
want
don't
to.
know.
Yeah, I want to feel bad for her, but I don't because, ma'am, You let your husband divorce you so he can marry another woman and make you sleep. I don't care what you say. If it's a full size bed or a twin size bed, it's not your husband's bed.
Right. Or
No,
give me my own
you're
room.
not
If I've agreed
sharing
to
a
this,
room. No, put her in her own house. No, that is insane. Insane. Anyway,
yeah.
well, it has been great, and we are going to wrap up. I do
Yes.
have some upcoming events to read off for us for November because, oh my God, the end of the month is up. Are you going to Robbie's Halloween party?
Yes, I bought my ticket and it is sold out apparently.
Oh,
But
well, never
but
mind. I
you have
forgot.
inside track, so you might be able
I will
to.
ask her because I was just like, I said it when we were at her book club. I was like, I want to go. I didn't know who else was going. And I was like, oh, I want to go. And of course I didn't reach out, but I will. But that's coming up. So that's week. I mean, this is the end
That's
of the month.
Halloween night. And Busta Rhymes and Christopher Williams are performing. Not
You
your
keep
Chris
saying
Williams.
Christopher Williams.
The other Chris.
I know. I'd be like, what's
So your Chris is Chris. I'm talking about Christopher. Christopher, New
I used to
Jack
love
City,
Christopher.
Christopher. Me too.
I used to
Me
love
too.
that song. That was what was it? I'm dreaming. That was the
Yes.
song.
Keep on
Don't wake me.
dreaming.
Okay, yeah.
Singing.
hmm that was all like that '90s beat. Everybody loved that
Yes.
stuff. Was that
Mm.
'90s or '80s? '80s, I think.
80s, late
But
80s,
anyway, so
90s.
yeah, it was the late '80s. There are some events coming up for November, and we're gonna try to give you events before they happen, so you can
Yes.
plan for them instead of like after they have happened. So we're trying to be a little bit more mindful of that. So I know Saturday, November 1st is Water Fire, and it's a tribute to veterans. And I know you said that you wanted to try and make it.
Yes.
That would be I think the last one. I'm not sure if it's the last one, but I pretty much think so. Then Wednesday, November 5th, there's the Women of Wisdom celebration, and it's
Mm.
presented by the Sophia Academy, and it's at the Waterfire Arts, and it helps young girls who economically need help to go to different schools. So I didn't know about that, but that sounds very interesting. Then November 7th to 9th, there's this fine furnishing show. I really
Mm.
want to go to that because that just sounds very interesting. Like, so hand carved furnishings, and it's going to be at the Water
Mm.
Fire Center as well. Comic Con is that same week, the 7th to the 9th. And I've never been to Comic Con. I've been to one in
It's
San
fun.
Diego, but I haven't been one here. Yeah, the one in San Diego was insane. I think I went when Jabril was in the military at that point. So I went to go see him, and we ended up getting tickets, and that was wild. And then November 20th, this is what I'm saying yes to. This is what I'm going to say yes to. It's the night gallery trolley night. So it's the trolley that goes around to all the different museums. And I always say I want to go, and I haven't been yet.
Oh.
So on Thursday. So the first one is November 20th on that Thursday. So if you're into art galleries, or you want to see, because there's so many I mean, like RISD has like some beautiful
Yeah.
ASS 220. They have some nice things too. Yeah, so you'll do little stops, and I think they have wine on it. I'm not a wine drinker, but I know Tracy is. So I'm just kind of throwing that at her so she'll come with me.
So I can't go on the 20th because that's my boo's birthday and it's all about him on the 20th. But
Oh,
I
happy
would
birthday,
go
Narelle.
if they do multiple ones, like if they do more than
They
one,
are
I
going to
would
do a
go.
couple more.
I
Mm-hmm.
would do another one. And
Mm-hmm.
then on the 28th, I believe it's the 28th, which is that weekend after Thanksgiving, we're going to see the Golden Girls Dinner Theater. Did you remember that?
I didn't. Nope, I didn't. I'm gonna put that in the
Put
calendar.
that on the
I will.
calendar.
'Cause I
We're
knew
going
it
to
was coming
go.
up.
We're going with Jen from Please Delete This podcast. So we're
Mm-hmm.
sitting at the
Mm-hmm.
table with her.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that ought to be fun.
it's gonna be double your pleasure. So you're gonna get. I think that's gonna be amazing. I love all things Golden Girls,
Is
so
it a
I'm here
mystery
for it.
night?
It's a mystery
It's a
type
mystery.
theater.
Okay.
It's like
All
dinner
right.
theater mystery.
All right.
Yeah. on the 28th.
Oh, I'm excited for that. I was
Yep.
just looking at some clips of Betty White Rose as Rose. I'm like, she was so funny. That show was so
The
funny. Sophia is
whole,
so fun.
the
Anyway,
whole, yeah.
yeah,
We could
you
start a
just can't
whole
even
other conversation about that.
discussion. One day, let's talk about the Golden Girls. Let's one day break down the Golden
We
Girls. I
need to
love
break
them
it
women.
down.
But anyway, so until next time, have a great week.
Yep. You know where to find us, right?
Okay.
I think I messed it up last week, but I'm gonna do it right this time. Social media, we are on Facebook and
Okay.
Instagram. If you'd like to watch our podcast, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify. If you want to listen, you can listen on YouTube and Spotify as well, or wherever podcasts are heard at Little State, Big Voices. But Shahida, take us away. Where will you still not find us? Tell them.
Fucking TikTok. I'm sorry. Every week is something more because Spotify is with the shits too.
Come on,
And so you just
Spotify.
have to make your deal
God
with the devil. I know,
damn
right?
it.
But you know what? We're sticking on Spotify for now. There's just no other outlet. But nope, we're done with TikTok. I think
For the
TikTok is
time
the
being.
most detrimental because I feel like all the kids are on TikTok and what they're about to start doing. I don't know. It's gonna be hard for me to get my grandson off of it
Yeah.
because he's not about the revolution right now. He's not about it.
Oh
So we
man.
got to bring it to him. But anyway, until next week, have a great week and enjoy this week because we don't know what the next week will bring. So peace out.
Deuces.